Exchange of respiratory gases. This is the question what we have. So in this topic, what we should know is, we should know first of all the respiratory membrane. How does it look? Okay, that's what he is asking us to draw the respiratory membrane. So the respiratory membrane, if you look, see, this is the alveolus. Okay, and this side we have blood vessel. In between you have interstitial space. Are you understanding? This side is lung, alveoli. The other side is capillary, blood vessel. We know all the alveoli are innervated by the blood capillaries, isn't it, for the exchange of gases? Now, when you see the alveolus, the internal lining of the alveolus is surfactant, which prevents the collapse of the alveoli.
Collapse of lung.
Yeah, very good. Now, see, this is the surfactant lining. Below the surfactant lining, you are finding this green line, isn't it? Violet is surfactant. Below surfactant is fluid layer. Below this, we have alveolar epithelial cells. This is simple squamous type of epithelium. Okay. Close to the alveoli, we have capillary. When you see the capillary, this is basement membrane. Resting on basement membrane, we have endothelial cells. Okay, which are also simple squamous cells. Now, what is happening in between? Whatever yellow area is there, that is the interstitial space. So are you understanding? One side you have alveoli, the other side you have capillary, only a small space is in between. So this complete membrane is called as respiratory membrane. Is it clear, Ritika?
Yes, ma'am.
So whatever oxygen is there in the alveoli, it should get diffused to the capillary, arterial end of the capillary. Whatever carbon dioxide is there in the venous end of the capillary, it diffuses back to the alveoli for the purpose of expiration. Okay, so this thin membrane, which has only basement membrane and endothelial cells, will facilitate exchange of gases. It is designed in such a way that it allows easy exchange of gases. Okay.
Elia.
Now see here, beta. Now this is the alveolus and this is the capillary. And now see here, we know capillary, it has one side is arterial and the other side is venous end. Now we are talking about the pulmonary veins. Do you remember pulmonary veins? Though they are veins, but still they carry oxygenated blood,
Oxygen.
and pulmonary arteries, though they are arteries, but still they carry deoxygenated blood. So what is happening in the alveolus? Now see here, this is the capillary and the partial pressure of oxygen inside the alveolus is 104. Okay, and the partial pressure of oxygen inside the arterial end, how much it is? It is only 40. So where is the pressure more? Is it inside the alveolus or towards the arterial end?
Inside the alveolus.
Inside the alveolus. Now, because the pressure is high in the alveolus, now the air is rushing from the alveolus to the capillary. Okay, beta?
Okay.
Huh. So, always try to remember, because the partial pressure of oxygen is 104, the other side it is again partial pressure of oxygen towards the venous end. Pulmonary veins which are carrying oxygenated blood, it is now 104. Okay? So, that is you should remember. Now coming to diffusion of carbon dioxide. I told you it is in reverse direction. So in the capillary, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 46. Whereas in the alveolus, it is only 40. So where is the pressure more?
In the arterial end.
Arterial end. So the carbon dioxide will now, just with the help of diffusion, it will move from the capillary into the alveolus for the purpose of expiration. Okay, beta? So again, always blindly remember, this and this reading will be similar. Okay, this one and this one. Okay, so this is what is taking place in the pulmonary veins. Now, see, the same, now the blood through aorta, it is distributed to all the parts of the body. We know, isn't it? So suppose this is renal artery and tissue is kidney. So in this renal capillary, one side is arterial end, the other side is venous end. So in the arterial end now, how much is the oxygen concentration? 95.
95,
Huh. How much is in the tissues?
40.
So now, because the pressure is low in tissues and high in the arterial end of the capillary, the oxygen now will diffuse from the arterial end into the tissues. Okay, no diffusion of carbon
Okay,
dioxide. See here, better, how much is the carbon dioxide concentration in the tissues
46,
and how much is towards the arterial end?
40.
So you see the arrow in reverse direction. Now carbon dioxide is now diffusing back from the tissues to the venous end of the capillary. So these are the things which you should frame sentences and write for this answer, exchange of gases. Okay, read once. I gave you clear-cut concepts and you will definitely able to understand and write better. Okay,
Okay,
we have also discussed when we were doing respiratory system. In the diagram we have drawn hemodynamic factor is nothing but pressure changes which are facilitating exchange of gases. Okay.
okay.
What are the different phases in gastric secretion? This also we did. Can you recollect better?
Uh,
Cephalic phase, no? Gastric
हाँ,
phase, intestinal phase. We have conditioned and unconditioned reflexes, no?
हाँ, yes.
So he's not talking about this gastric juice. Okay, see, in the stomach we have, like, in the lumen of the stomach, gastric glands are there. These gastric glands are concerned with the release of gastric juice. So the phases of secretion are, see here, beta. He is asking a very simple question. He didn't even ask composition also. See, what are the here phases of gastric secretion? Cephalic phase, gastric phase, intestinal phase. Cephalic phase means when the food, like it is all related to the head part of our body. So it can be either conditioned reflex or unconditioned reflex. Conditioned reflex in the sense true food is not present in the mouth. We are just thinking about food. Okay, we are hearing about food. Okay, something like that is conditioned. Unconditioned is food is present and you are not even concentrating on eating. Okay, so this causes stimulation of vagus and secretion of gastric juice. From the mouth, the food is now entering where? In the stomach.
Eso,
Through the esophagus into the stomach. Yeah. So when the food is now entering into the stomach, again vagus nerve, local nerves, gastrin hormone, they cause release of gastric juice. Now, once the food is moving from the stomach into the intestine, do you think gastric juice is still required?
what,
Ritika?
ma'am?
See, we are talking about gastric juice now. So role of
हाँ,
gastric juice will be there only in stomach. Now the food has moved from the stomach to the intestines. Do you think still
हाँ.
gastric juice is required?
Uh, no.
No, we don't require any more gastric juice because stomach food was there for 2 hours and gastric juice has done its work. After that only the food has moved into intestines, isn't it? So that you see
Yes,
in the intestines we have certain hormones, secretin, cholecystokinin, pancreozymin, somatostatin, gastric inhibitory peptide, vasoactive intestinal peptide. All these hormones will stop. We don't require any more gastric juice. Stop the secretion of gastric juice. Only hormone which was carried from the stomach to the intestine may stimulate to some extent the secretion of gastric juice. Okay, beta?
oh, okay.
Huh. So this is phases. Now, what is the role of B lymphocytes? What type of immunity does it give? Beta, B lymphocytes we did many times.
Cell mediated.
No, antibody mediated beta. B lymphocytes.
Okay,
No?
okay. Yes, ma'am.
T lymphocytes will give cell mediated. Okay?
Tell me. Okay, okay.
Yeah, B lymphocytes. There is one table also, beta, which gives us an easy way to present your answer. So B lymphocytes, from where are they produced? They are produced from bone marrow. Okay. So
Okay.
they kill the microorganisms by releasing different types of chemical substances like immunoglobulins. Do you remember what are the various types of antibodies we have? I gave you one code.
Game day.
Very good. IgG, AMED. Very good. So immunoglobulins. Whatever we have studied about immunoglobulins, you can completely write here, beta. Okay?
Okay.
So destruction of invading organisms, tumor necrosis factor also it releases, which causes the necrosis of tumor, activation of immune system, speed activity of inflammatory response. It also releases chemokines, which cause the lymphocytes to move outside to the place where injury has taken place. The lymphocytes will go there and kill the offending agent, the microorganism. It causes healing. That mechanism is chemotaxis. Okay, beta?
Okay.
So that is B lymphocytes. Then ABO-RH system. Do you remember, beta? We have discussed many times.
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, that what is the name of that law we have? Landsteiner's law.
Landsteiner's.
Very good. If the surface antigen is there, the corresponding antibody is absent. So we have A
Absent.
group, B group, AB, and O group. A surface antigen is A, so corresponding antibody present in the blood is B, and vice versa. AB, it has both antigens on the surface, so no antibody in the blood. O has no antigens,
Huh.
so in the blood we have both A and B antibodies. That's the reason O is universal donor, AB is universal recipient because it has no antibodies in the blood, AB. RH,
Yes, ma'am.
other than ABO blood group, we also have RH. So if RH factor is present, you call it as RH positive, which is represented by capital D. And if RH factor is not there, you just name it as RH negative, which is small d.
Huh.
Okay. So basically,
Yes.
most of us we have RH positive blood groups only. So the problem arises if mother is RH negative, father is RH positive. Then what is the name of disease which can happen, beta?
Erythroblastosis fetalis.
Erythroblastosis fetalis if the baby is also RH positive. Very good. What is anemic hypoxia?
Uh, mm, Amount of oxygen is decreased in the blood.
See, anemic, so of course, decreased oxygen uptake by the tissues. We have different reasons for hypoxia. Hypoxia is low oxygen tension, okay, in the blood
O-
and low oxygen delivered to the tissues, and the reason is anemia. Okay, the adequate amount of hemoglobin and RBC are not present in the blood, because of which, though adequate oxygen is present in the atmosphere, still the blood is not in the position to carry oxygen to the tissues. Okay, so that's what is anemic hypoxia. PR interval we have done recently only, but you can do it from the table of ECG. What is ventricular
Okay, ma'am.
systole? Which answer do we have ventricular systole, beta?
What, ma'am?
This seventh question, you find in which essay answer what we have studied.
Cardiac cycle.
Excellent, very good. Okay, but you just revise it from there. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So what are the factors affecting GFR? This we will see. GFR definition we have studied, but factors we didn't see, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is GFR, beta? Glomerular.
The amount of lead that is filtered by the glomerulus
Ah,
in 1 minute.
excellent. Per day, how much, beta?
Uh, I don't remember the value, ma'am.
Okay, okay. I think it is 560
180
liters.
liters.
We will see now. GFR. Three 311. Yes, better. Yes, ma'am. Factors. Okay. How much amount of blood is flowing per minute? Tubuloglomerular feedback. All these very short I'll discuss tomorrow, beta. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And stop playing.
Okay.